It's official, Tottenham Hotspur have their first signing of the summer transfer window. Andy Robertson joins the club. Now, Daniel Levy has sold a 24.99% stake in ENIC to 8 Sports Capital. That is according to 8 Sports Capital, because there has been no official statement from Tottenham Hotspur Football Club or Daniel Levy as yet. Now, former Spurs boss Thomas Frank has come out and said that Tottenham have a bright future, and he has also come out and said he isn't ready to go back into management as yet. Now, various reports are stating that Tottenham are preparing a bid for Savinho. Manchester City want £52 million for the Brazilian winger, and reports are stating that Brighton and Tottenham remain in talks over Van Hecke and the fee. Personal terms should not be an issue. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. Now, this is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going for all the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. On Friday, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club released the following statement. "We are delighted to announce the signing of Andy Robertson, a leader on and off the field. The highly decorated Scotland captain will join the club on the 1st of July, following the expiry of his contract at Liverpool." Now, Sporting Director Johan Langer said, "We are delighted to welcome Andy to the club. First and foremost, he is an outstanding left-back, one of the best of all time in the Premier League, and someone who will improve our squad. In addition, his quality, character and leadership have been evident throughout a career in which he has regularly competed for and won major honours. Andy's professionalism and commitment will also be invaluable to the development of our squad, and he shares our ambition and determination to bring success back to the club. We are excited for Andy's new chapter with us and look forward to having him here after the World Cup." Head coach Roberto De Zerbi on the signing of Andy Robertson, he said, "Andy is someone I've admired for a number of years, and he will bring outstanding technical qualities, experience, leadership and mentality to our team. He is a proven winner at the highest level over a long period and is someone who can be a big player for us, both on and off the pitch. I can't wait to start working with him and seeing the positive impact he will have on everyone around him." The club statement then goes on to say, "Vastly experienced with multiple winners' medals to his name, Andy joins us following a remarkable 9 years at Anfield. Having made his first steps in senior football in 2012 with then amateur Glasgow side Queen's Park, he has enjoyed an incredible rise to the top of English, European and international football in the years that have followed. An intelligent player who plays with personality and heart. He has tasted success wherever he has been, from reaching the Scottish Cup final with Dundee United and being named the PFA Scotland's Young Player of the Year in his first professional campaign, to earning promotion to the Premier League at his next club, Hull City, in 2016. The left-back has continually prospered. The following year, he made the move to Liverpool, and success followed in abundance, with the Scot scooping up every major honour on offer. Reaching 3 UEFA Champions League finals, with victory coming in the 2018-2019 showpiece. The now 32-year-old helped the Reds to a Premier League title, UEFA Super Cup and UEFA Club World Cup the following campaign, before securing the FA Cup, League Cup and Community Shield in 2022. He then added a further Premier League winners' medal to his collection in 2025. An influential player in the dressing room, Andy grew into a leadership role during his time on Merseyside and was appointed vice-captain for the Reds ahead of his final season at Anfield. Now, finally, the club statement then goes on to say, already captain of his country, wearing the armband for Scotland since September 2018. The left-back led his nation to the 2020 and 2024 UEFA European Championships before he skippered them to this summer's World Cup, Scotland's first appearance at the tournament this century. Now, lots of reports on this story. This one is from BBC Sport. They are stating that former Tottenham Hotspur executive chairman Daniel Levy has sold a 24.99% stake in the club's parent company, ENIC, to 8 Sports Capital. The sports investment group has claimed the move would leave Levy with a 4.89% stake in ENIC. The report then states he stepped down in September 2025 after 24 years in the role following a restructuring triggered by the club's ultimate owners, the Lewis Family Trust. 8 Sports Capital Limited is a sports investment company owned by Triller, an American entertainment and technology company. 8 Sports Capital's chief executive is American tech entrepreneur Brooklyn Eric, who headed up a consortium that said it was prepared to buy the club last September. At the time, Tottenham rejected the informal expression of interest. There have been no details on the price that 8 Sports Capital have apparently paid for their stake, although on the 26th of September, BBC Sport reported that the club was valued at just under the £4.25 billion that Clearlake Capital paid for Chelsea in 2022, which would value a near 25% stake at close to £1 billion. A spokesperson for 8 Sports Capital has come out and said, "We are delighted to have signed this agreement to acquire a significant stake in ENIC. We look forward to working with the club's shareholders, management, staff, players and fans to support Tottenham Hotspur's continued growth and success." Eric is described as an engineer, founder and serial technology entrepreneur who has raised more than $25 billion, the equivalent of £18.65 billion, from family offices, sovereign wealth funds and leading institutions worldwide. He is also a lifelong Tottenham Hotspur fan. Prior to becoming an entrepreneur, Eric worked as an engineer at NASA, contributing to small spacecraft and satellite technology. Until his abrupt exit, Daniel Levy had been the public face of Tottenham for almost a quarter of a century. He was credited with inspiring Tottenham's state-of-the-art training ground and magnificent 62,850 capacity stadium, the second biggest ground in England behind Old Trafford, which was opened back in 2019 and also hosts annual NFL games on an artificial surface, which is kept underneath the grass pitch. However, Daniel Levy attracted huge criticism from the Tottenham Hotspur fans and the lack of success on the pitch, resulting in just 2 trophies during his tenure, the 2008 League Cup and last season's Europa League. ESPN in Brazil are stating that Savinho is determined to join Tottenham in this summer transfer window. Last year, he had doubts about making the move to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium playing under Thomas Frank, but this time around, he is totally convinced about making the move under Roberto De Zerbi. Manchester City value him at around £52 million, and Spurs have started contact and plan to send in their first official bid to Manchester City in the next couple of days. Reports in the Netherlands are stating that Tottenham have made a concrete attempt to sign Brighton centre-back John-Paul van Hecke. Now, various reports are stating that the club want between £50 and £70 million for the Dutch international, and according to various sources, the bid is a significant one that is enough to get the clubs negotiating in an effort to reach an agreement. Reports are also stating on a personal level, Van Hecke is believed to be open to the move to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and the defender feels ready for the next step in his career. And other reports are stating that personal terms should not be an issue for Van Hecke to sign for Tottenham. Former Tottenham Hotspur boss Thomas Frank has released the following statement. "I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone who has reached out over the past few months. Your support and encouragement have been greatly appreciated. Leaving Tottenham has given me a chance to step back and reflect on my journey so far. Football management is a profession that demands complete commitment every single day. And periods like this are a rare opportunity to assess, learn and gain a fresh perspective. From the outside, it may have looked like a time of many challenges at Tottenham when results were not what we wanted. From within, however, it becomes clear why the club is so special. Full of talented people who work hard every day, I have no doubt that Tottenham has a bright future. Football remains a huge part of who I am, and I've chosen to use this time productively over the coming months. Besides spending time with family and friends, I will continue studying, observing and learning from other leaders both within sport and beyond it. I will also be looking forward to covering the World Cup for Danish television and on the BBC, as well as experience the Tour de France. And now time away from the touchline is allowing me to broaden my perspective and gather insights that I look forward to bringing into my next challenge. There have been conversations and opportunities since leaving Spurs, but I have decided not to rush into the next role. For me, this summer is not the right time to go back into management. When the time is right, I will look forward to my return as a manager, ready to embrace the job with great energy and dedication. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. Let's start by talking about Andy Robertson, and I think it was perfectly summed up by Roberto De Zerbi and Johan Lange, actually, and the club statement. They said it all. You know, he has vast experience and he will bring leadership qualities. He is a real leader and he is a ready-made player. Vast experience in the Premier League, and it does seem, you know, from all of the reports that we are seeing, especially in the last couple of weeks, it does appear that the club are going down the route of experienced players, Premier League experienced players and leaders, and this is exactly what we need in Roberto De Zerbi's squad. I'm very, very excited about Roberto De Zerbi being our manager and taking this club forward, playing entertaining football, the Tottenham way, etc. But of course, it is not about one or two players in a transfer window. This transfer window, in my opinion, needs to be very, very different. We need a window that we haven't had before. We need a window showing real ambition. We need a window that is going to bring in many, many leaders in this period. You know, the window opens next week. Actually, it's in about 10 days' time. I think it's on the 15th of June. And, you know, Spurs are lining up these signings already, which is great. It's great to see that Spurs are being active in this window, being active even before the window started, and they're lining up their players that they want. And this is fantastic news. But of course, it isn't about one or two players. It is about the overall window. Are we going to be happy as Spurs fans at the end of the window? Are we going to think that we have done enough at the end of the window? That is what it's all about. Roberto De Zerbi, as the head coach, taking this club forward, hopefully taking this club forward, and not finishing anywhere near being 17th. We want to be competing for, you know, European football. We want to be up there, and we want to be in the conversation when people are talking about the Champions League spots, etc. We want to be fighting on all fronts. We want to be going far in the League Cup. We want to be going far in the FA Cup, and of course, we want to be back into Europe, you know, for the 27-28 campaign. So that's what the aim is, certainly for Roberto De Zerbi. But he has to be happy with the window. I've no doubt that he would have identified a number of players or profiles of players or player positions where he's probably said to Johan Lange and the club's board, owners, etc., this is exactly what we need. He's come out and said in that press conference that we only have 10, 11, 12 players who are good enough to play for the football club. So that does mean that we need a lot of players brought in to this squad. And Roberto De Zerbi also said he wants 2 players for each position. And if you want that, that means a lot of players need to come in through the door. And, you know, a lot of players will be going out the door. I've no doubt about that as well. We're hearing that Vicario is going to be going out the door. We're hearing that players like Radu Dragushin will be going out the door. So I think there'll be a lot of activity of players coming in and out. And Roberto De Zerbi needs to be backed in this window. And I will say that throughout the whole of this transfer window. The transfer window needs to be different. It needs to be a window that we've never, ever had before. You know, feel that we are backing the manager. I'll go back to that famous quote and, you know, and phrase what Pochettino said. You when we moved in that new stadium in 2019, you've got this mansion, you need to put the furniture in it. We still need that furniture, that top quality furniture that is going to drive this football club, back to where we belong. And this is a phrase that they keep using, put Spurs back to where we belong. So, Andy Robertson, welcome to Tottenham. Good luck to Andy Robertson. He will officially join the football club on the 1st of July. Now, I'm not going to comment on this next story about Daniel Levy selling a 24.99% stake in ENIC. Now, there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of national newspapers coming out because of 8 Sports Capital putting a statement out. Everyone has taken it as read that this has actually happened, and Daniel Levy has sold that stake. But there are a couple of journalists and there are a couple of outlets at the moment questioning whether this is actually true or not. I don't think it's going to surprise me either way. Whether it's happened or whether it hasn't happened. But I think it'd probably be wrong of me to comment on this at this stage when we don't actually have an official statement from Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and we also don't have an official statement from Daniel Levy. I would have thought that if Daniel Levy had spent that amount of time at Tottenham, given his time, experience at Spurs, I would have thought that he would have released a statement first and not 8 Sports Capital. So let's wait to see what happens on that front. Now, we're hearing reports again about Savinho. He wants to join Tottenham this time. Didn't want to join last summer under Thomas Frank, but now he is very much up for the move. ESPN Brazil are stating, and they're also stating that Spurs need to pay £52 million for his services if he is to join from Manchester City. Now, that is a lot lower than what it was last summer. I've no doubt, and I've said this before, I've seen a lot of people saying, well, he didn't score many goals last season, he didn't provide many assists last season in Pep Guardiola's side. I think that Roberto De Zerbi will get the very best out of players, particularly wingers. Wingers are very, very important to his side, his system, etc. And I think that he will get the very best out of any player, actually. But when you're spending £50+ million, you do want, the finished product in your team. So watch this space. I think that we are going to be pleased with some of the business that Roberto De Zerbi is going to demand. And I think that the Spurs fans and De Zerbi are going to be on the same page there, where he will be demanding players for his system. He will be demanding players that are going to fit in perfectly well to this squad, and a mixture of experience. I think that we do need a lot of experience. We do need a lot of leaders in here, but of course you need that really good mixture of young players as well. And Savinho, you think about the players that he has worked with at Manchester City and working under Pep Guardiola. He would have learnt a lot at the Etihad Stadium with those players and the likes of Pep that he has worked under in these last few years. So I think that Savinho will be a very good signing for Tottenham if they can get it done. Also being, spoken about at the moment is Van Hecke. This is going to be an interesting one because he only has 1 year left on his current deal at Brighton, and various reports, including from the Daily Telegraph, very good source, they were stating that Brighton were demanding £70 million. Other reports are stating that it could be as low as 50. For a player who only has 12 months left on his deal, that is a lot of money. So, if Spurs are to get this done, I would hope that they would get this price lowered. Now, lastly, let's talk about Thomas Frank. Of course, Thomas Frank's time at Tottenham did not go well. Lots of boos at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, lots of boos for the team and certainly for him away games. I remember him going back to Brentford and him getting closer and closer to the away end after that 0-0 draw. And that was not good scenes at all. The away fans were singing songs about all of the, previous Tottenham Hotspur players, including Soldado. It was that bad. And we were playing for a draw, and the Spurs fans certainly did not want to see that. Vicario wasting time for a 0-0 draw. Thomas Frank, I think, was very surprised on how people actually acted towards him after that game particularly. But it wasn't a good time under Thomas Frank. One thing that frustrated me about Thomas Frank is the fact that our club motto is to dare is to do, and I don't think we ever dared under Thomas Frank, actually, especially in the Premier League. And I thought it was a very, very poor season. Thomas Frank, Igor Tudor, Roberto De Zerbi in the end being the saviour and keeping us in the Premier League. But I do wish Thomas Frank all of the very best for the future. He came into Tottenham. He thought that it was going to go well. Sadly, it didn't. And, he's come out and said that he thinks that Tottenham will have a bright future, and he isn't ready to go back into management. I have no doubt at all that his time at Tottenham has probably taken a lot out of him. Last season took a lot out of us. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Stay safe and well, keep smiling, have a great weekend. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.